Hello, Basics Bitches. Welcome to another episode of Muscle Monday. I'm your guide through the iron jungle and companion on this journey to a stronger you. Let's break down the basics of strength training with the precision of a weightlifting ninja. Lace up those lifting shoes and prepare for a weekly dose of muscle building wisdom. We believe strength isn't just in the body, it's in the mind, the heart, and the dedication to becoming a best version of yourself. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny with a Muscle Monday coming at ya. I hope you guys had a great weekend. My weekend was actually pretty full and chill. So Friday, I spent all night or all day, like basically out of my house, and all over the place. I went from one side of the north side of Detroit, northeast side of Detroit, all the way down to the west side, southern west side of Detroit. It was just, I was all over the place. I was everywhere. And I met a lot of great people, a lot of great connections. I actually got up on stage. I had this hypnotist show that I emceed. I didn't really say a whole lot, but it was like still super nerve wracking. Had to use some of my tools. I was doing some of the shakes and some of the big breathing, box breathing, and all sorts of stuff. During this, because I was like literally panicking, and people are like, "Are you serious? You get nervous?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Wow, you just like don't strike me as a person that gets nervous." I was like, "Well, thank you. I think that's a compliment. I mean, it sounds like a compliment, but yeah." So it was a lot of fun, to be honest. And then at the first event that I was at, I made this really great connection. I'm so excited to have met her. It's a little bit what I'm going to talk about today, as we are in a Muscle Monday. So of course, this is going to be all about focusing on, things going on in the gym and or training, those kinds of things. And I want to be super clear, because this is a conversation I have quite frequently with my daughter, about how doing things correctly means a lot more than doing things incorrectly, but like being able to do high weights, to do so much, to do 1,000 different things, right? And I actually want to say it a little differently, because this is, here we go. Okay. I wrote it down and I did not read it as I wrote it. So I'm going to read it to you. How much you do at the gym doesn't matter as much as how well you do it. Okay. Too many of us think, number one, the gym is not where we lose weight. Sorry. It's not where we lose weight, okay? Nutrition is where we lose weight. It's where we lose fat, being in a calorie deficit. Your gym training will be what your body looks like when that fat, when that fat comes off. When you lose the weight that you want to, and then you get into a place where your body is, smaller, essentially. What will it look like after that? A lot of people will lose a lot of weight. They still have flabby arms, right? We call this the skinny fat. There's no muscle definition. There's no quote unquote toned look that you're looking for. And that's because you're not doing the training side of piece, the training piece or the training side of the journey. And you're solely just focused on it, right? Or you're using the training piece thinking that you're going to lose weight. And that is not it. And because we think too often that the training is what's going to have us lose weight, we overtrain. We do way too much. We're like, oh my God, I got to go 7 days a week, 6,500 hours, a million things, blah, 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 like 1,000 miles a minute. And you don't have to do that. It's not required, because if you can only get in 2 sessions a week, but those 2 sessions a week are like, they're meaningful, they're intentional, the form is proper, it's going to mean a lot more than you going and doing like 7 days a week of just like half-assed bullshit. Because half-assed bullshit doesn't get you where you want to go. It doesn't matter what the fuck your program looks like. It doesn't matter how well your program is written if you're just doing shit half-assed, because you don't have the time, or you don't have the energy, you're not recovering, you don't know what you're actually doing, you're just trying to be in a gym doing whatever you're doing. Like, it fucking matters. Okay? And and I'm going to keep like pounding this down, because you need to continuously understand what is going on. Okay. Like, I'm going to keep talking about this. So let's pull it back a little bit. Right. And this kind of came from another conversation. You're going to notice a lot right now. I'm having a lot of conversations with my kids, about training and being in the gym, and my daughter starts swim coming up. She's tomorrow, actually. Well, today's Monday. Well, I mean, today's Monday. You're listening it's Sunday that I'm recording this, but tomorrow, Monday, she starts out for swim tryouts, and she's going to be starting 2 days a week. She'll have training until school starts. And even then, there are days that she's going to be training 2 days a week. But then she said to me, but Mom, can I still am I still going to be able to train at the gym? And I'm like, I don't know, Jaden. It's a lot. And so we can kind of see how your body's feeling. But I already told her, I said, if you're not recovering and you're not resting and your body feels like absolute trash, no. The answer is no. You have to rest, right? So the plan currently is to, after Saturday practice, come home, get a nice big hearty meal and see if she wants to train. Probably something like a full body training session is what she'll get in. Which is exciting because she's now at a point where she's excited to go to the gym. She wants to go. And I'm really excited for her for that. Today she just walked and she was so unhappy. I said, but you want to move your body, but you want to move it appropriately for training tomorrow because you need to go balls to the wall tomorrow. You have to go all out. So you don't want to tire your body. So it's if you want to train, you have to pull everything back. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay. Well, do you want to make the team? Do you want to have good times or do you want to be just training in the gym? Because can't do both. So, trying to get her to see this and understand that piece of it. So this sparked the conversation where it's you can go 7 days a week to the gym and you can train 2 times a day. But if the training itself isn't intentional, if the training itself doesn't mean something, then it doesn't fucking matter anyway how many times you train in the gym. You have to be willing to pull the curtain back a little bit and say, okay, I need to make sure that I'm doing shit the right way, making sure that it feels right, making sure I'm recovering appropriately. And then if you want or need to add more in, that's when you do that. But you don't just have to go 7 days a week just to go 7 days a week because you think it's going to get you the result that you want. And again, it's probably going to get you the exact opposite. You're going to get more frustrated because it's oh my God, I'm going 7 days a week for 4 hours a day and nothing's fucking changing. Well, that's because you don't have the right shit happening, right? It's also why I'm doing Basics on Demand. It is an opportunity for you to hop into a container that is literally does it for you. It is proper programming by an educated person, not fucking Gina from IG swipe videos. Okay. And I'm sorry, but I don't care. You're not going to convince me that body, a beach body, whatever the fuck they call it now, all that kind of shit, that is not properly progression for training. I don't want to call it an argument. Somebody made a post the other day about, who uses Beachbody to blah. I was like, nope, they don't have proper programming. Her response to me was, I'm sorry that you think that. I was dead. I was dying. It was funny. I have to find it. Now I have to read it to you. Hang on. Okay. I said, no, their workouts do not progress properly. It's why I created my $29 a month membership. I'm so sorry you don't think so, but I believe they do. I said, it's not that I don't think so. It's that they don't. It's not why I think. It's that I already know that they don't. I used to use it. I used to pay for it. And then I learned, and then I was like, oh, this is not proper progression at all. There is no progression. They don't even have you keep track of anything. How are you progressing? How do you know what you're doing? You don't. If you're not keeping track of your shit, maybe this is a good podcast. See, this is a good podcast to talk about. Not keeping track of your shit, of your progress in the gym. If you're not keeping track, you're not progressing. Because how the fuck do you know? How the fuck do you know what you did 4 weeks ago? How many, you don't even fucking remember to put underwear on sometimes in the day. Or I see so many women walking out of the house with 2 different fucking shoes on. And you're going to tell me that 3 weeks ago, you fucking remember the weight and amount of reps that you did? I don't think so. Sorry. But I don't think so. I don't buy it. Especially if you're a mom. We have so much other bullshit to worry about. Really? That's where you're going to die on a hill, is that you're going to remember that shit? No, thank you. That's not even worth it. Right? So keeping track. So I didn't even get, she never even responded. She probably blocked me. Fuck if I know. I don't even care. It's not about what I think though. It's about what I know. It's about what is the truth. It's not about that I'm sorry you think that. No, it's not about thinking anything. It's not an opinion. It's a fucking statement. It is a fucking fact. Okay. You have to be paying attention to all these things, but it doesn't even matter, because if you're paying attention to all of it, but you're not doing it well, you're not training good, you're not doing things intentionally, you're not properly eating. Because that was the other thing I told my kid when she had mentioned doing a training session after morning workouts on Saturdays. I said, well, it depends on how much you're eating. Because if you're not eating enough, I'm absolutely not. You have to eat. Like, it's a lot of output, especially for swimming, comp swimming. It's a lot of fucking energy that gets put out. You have to put food back in your body. And last year she was doing really well until she got hurt in the gym with her coach, who doesn't know jack shit about training, which is fine, but he doesn't know what he needs to know. And so he kept having girls get hurt, and she tweaked her back. And ever since then, everything went downhill for her. So not good for us at all, right? It's also why I'm sort of starting, I don't want to say making a shift, but I'm doing like this adding in where I'm really trying to fill a gap for teens. So if you know of teens that need some strength training help, let me know. I'd love to help them. But I want to fill this gap for teens so they fucking know what they're supposed to do. So they fucking have an idea of what they're doing in the gym, right? I put together this whole, it's called Athlete Power Program, and I put it all together for her coach. And I was like, hey, this would be really cool to do. And he was like, that would be so great. The athletic director said no, but it's really needed. Oh, great. Okay. That's awesome. So that was kind of a gut punch. But just knowing that it's needed, knowing that this is a gap that needs to be filled is great. Because I watched it with my own 2 kids, having done club swimming, never training before, getting tossed into high school swim. They're in the weight training room and their coaches have no fucking clue what they're doing. Like, my son would come home and he's like, yeah, I'm like, that's not how you do that. Well, Coach Larson said, Coach Larson is not correct. I'd love to see what documentation and what actual credentials he has. Because you have a credential doesn't mean that you're good. It doesn't mean that you still know what you're doing. We're just going to put it out there, right? I've met doctors that had no idea what they're doing. I know teachers that are, just because they're certified, have no fucking idea what they're doing. Like, it's just a fucking piece of paper, right? So it's important to know that what you do and how you do it is more important than how much you're doing. So if you're not doing a lot, but you're doing it very, very well and you're very, very consistent, great job, keep it up. If you're doing shit and it's not working and it's done shitty, then you're not doing it right. We need to fix that. So a great place to start with that is to join BOD, Basics on Demand. You can go in there. There's already programming, and I will be adding more in. I've been asking the ladies, like, what's missing? What can I create for you? What do you need? Somebody said a 3-day dumbbell program. I have one. I'm going to dump it in there, and we're going to, go with it. Like, these are the things. So it is, as much as it's not quote unquote specific to you, I'm still taking feedback from the people who are in it to make it better, to make it fit their needs, because that's at the end of the day, that is the goal. I don't want you to be all over the place. I want you to walk into the fucking gym, know what the fuck you're doing, and move on with life. Like, that's the fucking point, right? So then you don't have to be fucking confused. Then you don't have to know, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? And you're all confused. And then you end up doing nothing because you're just fucking stuck in your head about it. Like, and then we get paralysis. What is that called? Analysis by paralysis, where you don't do shit. You just fucking quit. You get into stuck. You freeze. Like, I'll do nothing because then I can't do it wrong. And then nobody can come at me. Right. So that is the one thing that I will say. That is why this is beneficial. So if you are not in Basics on Demand, click the link, hop in with me. Let's make it happen. Let's get you in there. All right. So remember, you guys, that what you do and how well you do it is way more important than how much you're doing something in the gym. If what you're doing is shitty, it doesn't matter anyway. Your answer to that is my membership, Basics on Demand. I will catch you on Wednesday's episode.